Life can be a complicated thing, and it's something that we often think we should have figured out. But as we go through life, we begin to actually notice that not many people have it figured out. And so we tend to think that because not many of us have it figured out, that in fact there's something wrong with us. But in fact, really, the purpose of life is to figure it out. And not to figure it out in terms of coming to the exact way, how, method in which you are supposed to live your life by. But ultimately, the key, the trick of it all is that life is about figuring it out for you. You see, manifestation is the art of life. And when you think about this art form and you understand that art is about ultimately figuring out how you are going to do it, how you, in fact, do it best. You see, realize that figuring out an art form comes down to knowing who the artist is, knowing who you are, and then knowing and understanding how it is you go about creating things. So you have to really take into account that figuring it out is a personal journey. As you take on this life of manifestation and realizing the connection between art and materialization and consciousness and self-realization, then you begin to piece together basically that this journey is about, in fact, figuring it out. It's not about having it figured out. It's about figuring it out. It's about understanding that your journey as an artist is to come into how you create this art form we call life, because life is art, right? And you have to realize that your art form, your way of expression is unique. So you can't necessarily look at other people and say, well, they have it all figured out. They look like they're happy, they're complete, they're fulfilled, and therefore I should be doing exactly what they're doing. It doesn't work that way in life. In fact, you want to pull back as much as possible from that and just take a real deep look within and ask yourself, well, are those things that this person actually has, right? Are they things that I actually want? Just because they're happy in what they have doesn't mean that I'm going to be happy in having those same things. In fact, chances are you're not going to be happy. So you have to realize that manifestation being the art form of life, you have to identify and understand and accept that your art form is going to be completely different than other people's. Your way of life is going to be completely different than other people's. Everything that you have experienced has been a result of manifestation. When you think about even you being here, your existence is a product of manifestation. It's a product of your parents coming together, right? Being intimate, having sex, and conceiving you, right? And so that conception of you was a joint venture between your parents and, believe it or not, yourself. Because though some people don't believe that they were chosen to be born, in fact, you were. Your consciousness made a decision to come here and play this game of life. And so by coming together with your parents, you have decided to manifest, to materialize your human form. And you started with conception. And then that began the process of going into gestation, going into growth as an embryo, being born, experiencing all of the things that you've experienced in life. Now, when you think about all the things that you have experienced in life, you may ask yourself, well, how am I responsible for those things that's happened to me when they may have been out of my control, right? As a child, you have no control over the things that's going on in your life. Well, you have control over your perception of it. You have control over how you think about it. And that's where the magic happens. That's where the power lies. You see, remember that you are the master, you are the creator of your universe. And though there are others interacting with our universe, we have complete say over how we take this journey, over how we view things and how we deal with things and process things. So as you are coming up as a child, though you were not aware that you had some say over, how to think about things, how to process things, how to feel, how to, get over things, or how to, go through the journey of what you were going through. You felt quite, helpless and out of control. But now when you think back on it, there were certain things, certain ways of thinking that made you different than other people who may have gone through something similar. And so when you think about, well, why did I feel differently? Why did I handle this differently? Then you begin to understand that because you had some ability, you had some inkling that you were able to define what was happening, right? Though other people were influencing your journey, you had final say over what it meant, right? What it means to you and what you're going to do with it. And if you didn't understand that then now, as you go along this conscious spiritual journey, you definitely can understand it now. Even now, you can go back and change your perspective. And this is what we call, dealing with shadow work or healing something that has happened to us before, is by going and processing how we dealt with it before and deal with it a different way in the present tense. You see, and that is another art form of this life, is taking what has quote unquote happened to you before, changing your perspective then, and updating or advancing or evolving your point of view currently to be at a place that is more empowering. So as you think about this art form of manifestation through life, realize that every single thing that you are doing now is the process of creating the life that you want, is the process of you in action with this art form. From your relationships, right? If you're dealing with love or even friendships, acknowledge that you have say. You have the ability to completely control what happens in that relationship, or to create multiple relationships, right? You have final say over what happens at that job, or create another job, or create another career. You have final say over everything that happens in your life. It's not about you being victim of what other people say and do to you. It's about acknowledging that though they are controlling their universe and it may impact you in what could be a negative way, you have choice. You have the ability to decide what exactly and how exactly is going to influence you. This is the art form of manifestation. This is your ability. This is your power. This is your birthright to actually take responsibility over what's happening, what's happened, and what you want to happen. Simply making a decision and following through with the intention, with the action, with the desire, the patience, the drive to actually create the things that you want to create. So even now in your adulthood, you are taking things that you have experienced in childhood, actually evaluating, analyzing, looking at it and seeing, does these ways of thinking or these things, do they serve me currently? If they don't, then you change them. If they do, then you continue to bring that and apply that in your life. But ultimately, you have say over what is going to happen. You have say over what you put or what is on the canvas of your journey, of your art form, of your life. And once you take ownership of that, then you come into true realization as to mastery of this art form called life, this art form of manifestation. So ask yourself, as you are on this journey and you are conscious about this journey, what is it that you want? What is it that you wish to create? How do you wish to manifest a life that you can look back on with love and admiration and pride, acknowledging the fact that you are able to tap into who you are, to actually express the God within you, to actually live out and create the reality that you want to live. It's really a matter of taking ownership of the power that is you. And once you do that, fulfillment happiness, satisfaction, creating everything that is possible, everything that you think about is really just a matter of thought. It is a matter of action. It is a matter of decision. So make the decision to take on this concept and realize that you are the creator of your universe. And once you do that, then you will be on the journey of true happiness and fulfillment. Thank you so much, and continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.